Hi, built into the FX-Integrator are a number of unique little features, and in this video we'll just explain some of these features. So we'll start off with the smiley face, which is in the top right hand corner of your chart, and those of you who are familiar with the MT4 platform will know that if you click this button here it turns the EA off, and if you click it back on, there we get the smiley face. When it's off, you either get the X or you get a frowning face. If you get a frowning face, it's saying that something's wrong or your EA isn't turned on and something needs to be done. Now also, you might have noticed that it's flashing red. Now this is the blushing indicator, and this is telling us that the EA currently on this chart is full to capacity and can't deal with any more requests. Now you should just see it flick on and off and it's not a problem, but if you see it red for a prolonged period of time, you know that there's something going on, you need to sort it out. It's basically saying that no more requests can be dealt with at the time when it's blushing red. Very unique feature and pretty handy. The next feature is, you might have noticed the big thick blue line down here. Now the concept of the expert advisor, the FX-Integrator, is to run in blocks. Now this is telling us what has happened at the end of this block. So if I hover my mouse, my cursor over the blue line, it's giving the results of that block. Now this is block 3 and it's 716 profits. That's quite a good one. So again, you can just check your performance just by checking over the blue lines. The next feature that I'd like to show you is the pause feature. And let me just click on the smiley face here. This will open up our inputs window, and if I just scroll down, you'll be able to see trading control. Now what this is a facility to pause the EA. That's very handy if you're not going to be at your computer and there's some data going to be released. As an example is the non-farm payroll, first Friday of the month, and you might not want to trade over that period, so you could put the date and the time that you want it to stop and for how long. That's just optional. We've got it there as a 1 minute. You can put it for, I don't know, 180 minutes, so stop for 3 hours, so it's a couple of hours before the data release and an hour after it's settled down. I won't make the changes, just put them back. So again, that's a pretty unique feature. It also enables you to place a pause on the EA a few days before. So if you wanted it on a Sunday night, if you wanted to place a pause for the following Friday because you know that data's out, it's you can do that. Now when it's paused, it will not take any new orders, but any orders that are already running, it will they'll continue until they're finished. So that's what I advise, maybe a couple of hours before. The next feature is the close block now feature. Again, this is pretty useful. If you want to close everything down straight away, all you do is just click that and click the true option, click OK, and everything will be closed. I don't want to at the moment, so I'll put that back. So again, another nice feature, rather than exiting out of all orders or doing it the long way, just click that and it'll more or less instantly, everything on your chart relating to this chart will be closed down. The next feature that I'd like to show you is the hourglass feature. Let me just get rid of this. And it's normally in the top left hand corner. At the moment we haven't got a pause on an hourglass, so I'm going to just show you an image here, and this is what you'll see. Now when this pops up in the left hand corner of your chart, it's basically saying that your block target or your block risk or your count target of risk has been reached and you need to delete the hourglass to continue. It's just like a confirmation to say that you're keeping manual control. There is settings that you can select, so it won't pause or it won't stop. It'll just continue. But if you have selected at the end of blocks and targets and wrist controls, then your hourglass will appear. Let's put that down. The next feature that we have, and you probably noticed that all over the charts we've got circles and arrows. Now, as a general rule, if it's a bright colour, a bright red or a bright green, greeny yellow, it means that an order has been taken. The dull ones were orders that weren't taken. So you can see here this was bright, so there was an order taken to go short here. The radiation signs are areas where the stop loss was placed, so it was placed there, and it was placed there, and we can see just in there, just covering up, and the arrows are the exact points. So there's quite a few unique features there. The next one I'd like to cover is the outset pips. Now, what do we mean by outset pips? Now, basically, when we've got a signal to go short or long, and we're using that candle, we're using the highs of the candle and the lows. So if we were setting an order to go short here, the outset pips would be set at 0 if it was right at the bottom. If we wanted it just slightly off the bottom by 1 or 2 pips, we'd use the outset pips. And what I'll do is I'll show you this. If we go to our meta editor, you can see that the outset pips here is set to 0. So to change that, we'll just stick it 2. So basically now what will happen is any orders or stop loss orders will be placed 2 pips below the signal candle or 2 pips above the signal candle, depending on which direction you're trading. So that's a pretty neat feature again. Also, we have the spike stop feature, which is just here, just above. Now this is basically protecting you against entering a trade on a signal candle on a spike. Now in this case, with these settings, we've got it at 15 pips, and you can basically change that to what you want. So if the market suddenly spikes in either direction and it produces a signal candle, it's not going to take the trade. Now, I haven't got a icon running at the moment, so if I just go to this image here, this is one we created so we could see the actual ship's wheel icon. That you'll see if you get a spike entry stop that's not been taken. Basically, that's saying that a trade hasn't taken because the candle was too big. Now I think we set this something like 3 or 4 pips on a 1 minute chart just to produce the icon symbols so you can see them. But normally, if it was a normal trading and it's like it spiked up suddenly 15 pips, normally on a spike up it normally reverses back the other way, so it's just stopping you getting into that trade right at that point. So I'll just come out of that. The next feature we have is the 2-stage trailing stop, which I'm going to do a video all on its own about the 2-stage trailing stop, so we'll just briefly cover it here. Now it's basically a stop that will trail as soon as the price starts going in your favour. The stop will move up, and it'll move to break even or somewhere near break even depending on your settings. And then we've got the trail stop delta, which basically means there's a second trailing stop comes in as you near your profit target. So it means that you just don't end up coming back to break even, not getting anything out of the trade. Now we can set that this trail stop delta, whatever figure we want, and we can use the sub trail stop to be just behind the price. But we'll cover that in more detail on a video on its own. The next feature we have, if I just go back to the chart, is the stop loss line mover. Now most trading stations, you're able to move the stop loss lines up and down just by clicking on the line, but the MT4 doesn't have that facility. So what we're going to do here is click this under scripts, which comes with the install wizard when you install the FX-Integrator, install it into the script file. So you just grab hold of the adjust stop loss. Let's find our stop loss line. Drop it on there, and it covers it with a blue line. All you need to do is just double click, double left click, and you get boxes at the end. Now we can move that stop loss line up and down as we want. Now the line will only stay on there for a few seconds, and then it will pop back off. So that's some of the features of the FX-Integrator. We're going to do a video on its own about the stop loss line mover, so watch out for that video. It'll be coming soon. And as I say, that's some of the features of FX-Integrator. Pretty nifty, and it does make the experience of trading a little bit more unusual than what we have. Some of these features are pretty useful, and surprising how you go to get used to these features and use them in your everyday trading. Okay, so thank you for your time, and I'll talk with you again in the next video.